And we're live. Well, we're not live. We're recording. Hello, fellow sapiens. I just looked up the meaning of the word Homo sapiens to make sure I got that right. So, hello, Homo sapiens. Yes, honestly, some of the words in the English language just seem so wrong to me. Well, it's look at me looking all scruffy. I've got a patch on to try and slow down my smoking, like slow it right down to a halt. I'm sitting in a room that is at least 40 degrees Celsius. I'm really hot. It's because of while I've been out, I've had the heater going, and I've come back and the room was opened the door and the room was like so wide, so hot. I had to open the door wide. Okay, today's video is going to be about why I have had now a fourth admission in the in a mental health asylum, in a mental health institution, and I'm out the other side of my most recent mental health lockdown. The date is the 23rd of June, and I think I went in there on the, I think it was the 30th. No, it was June. Yeah, it was early June anyway. When I went in for this last admission in mental health, and I'm speaking so quietly because I'm in what is called a respite unit. A respite is basically where you go to recover, and God knows that people need to recover when they go into a mental health place. It's just such a controlled environment. It's scary. It really is scary. Everything's controlled from the time that you eat. You can go to the toilet whenever you want, but yeah, I should have made a video while I was in there. I should have done that, but I was too afraid to make a video while I was in there. In the Hepuna Waiora mental health unit because they said that I wasn't allowed to share any information about my time in Hepuna Waiora. So here I am at respite. I could get in trouble for uploading this video simply because they don't like us to share this kind of information about these places. However, I'm still going to share this information because it is my experience, and I should be allowed to share information about my experience. I'm not sharing their experience, I'm sharing my experience, and I'm pretty sure that argument would hold up in a court of law. So anyway, moving forward, I'm going to talk about the reasons why this is now the fourth admission into North Shore Mental Health Asylum / institution. And each time I have been put under the Mental Health Act, it has been because people have committed crimes to me, and when I've started to speak out about those crimes, without even mentioning their surnames, I'm mentioning first names but not their surnames, and I'm not even telling the whole truth about it. I'm just touching on the topic of the crimes that have been committed to me and my children. And then what these guys do, the guilty parties, what they do is they then ring up mental health and say, hey, Nellie's threatened to take my children, Nellie's done this, Nellie's done that, that's the reason why we left, blah, 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 blah. They make up the most disgusting fucking lies that I've ever fucking heard about me. And they're no different to the people who have edited videos to make it look like I'm a pedophile. They're no different to people who have forced me to do things after drugging me and hypnotizing me to do various things. even when I've been hypnotised, I'm still pretty switched on. So there's only certain things I'll do, but if I know that they've got my children and they're holding them hostage, and if I don't do something, then they're going to hurt my children. Well, what does that tell you? That tells you that they're very, very capable of hurting your children, even if you do it. But to be honest, I'm not 100% certain of, pardon me, everything that they've made me do after they've drugged me. This is one of the forms of terrorism that I spoke about in my last video. I'm not 100% certain about everything that they've made me do, but I have recalled many of the things that they made me do. Like one of the guys, actually the guy who I think is the father to my children, he's been playing both sides for the longest time. And so one of the things him and his girlfriend made me do was to sit me down naked, and he put, I can't remember if it was him or her, him or his girlfriend, that put cat food on my privates and then tried to make my cat eat the cat food that was on my privates. Really, really disgusting things like that they've done to me. And while we're on the topic, I'd just like to make something very, very clear. For those of you who are following my Facebook page, there is a very, very clear element here, and that element is this. People, when they commit crimes to you, will then try and turn those crimes around on you to make you look like you're the one who's committed this crime. This theme has been prevalent right throughout my life. From the time I was, well, you could say from the time I was about 4 years old, when my doctor says that when I was raped, I could be lying and saying that I had lying and saying that I was raped, when he says that I could have ripped myself on barbed wire when I was little, and it's things like that that makes me realise that the doctors who say things like that are more than likely pedophiles themselves. It's just like the judges that let pedophiles off with a really, really light sentence. They're more than likely pedophiles themselves and are trying to bat for the D team, for the pedosexual team. It's just so wrong. And one of the reasons why the father of my children that I'm currently pregnant with is doing these things is because he has committed some of the worst crimes you can think of. Not the worst, but really, really bad crimes that he's not the only one guilty of them. Many, 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 many people in our country are guilty of the kind of crimes that he's guilty of. So that's the reason he's doing things like the cat food one, and another one that him and his other girlfriend did, she was in a relationship as well. One of the things that him and his girlfriend did was, after I won my jackpot winnings, my online jackpot winnings, they took my phone over to her place and tried to pretend that she was the one who owned the phone. I mean, fuck, they've done some really, really crazy shit to me, and I know I'm not the only one that people like these criminals do these things to. I know there's got to be a whole lot of you out there who have had these things done to them. Even some of the perpetrators have had these things done to them, and that's why they go on to do it to other people. So, my, what a cruel and unconscionable world this can be when human beings exact forms of terrorism that make people feel like they're literally living in a gauntlet. So anyway, I just wanted to say that the reason why I'm under the Mental Health Act this time round is the same as the last time. It's the same as the time before that, and it's the same as the first time, which is that Um, Actually, there were times before that as well, but that's kind of in a different phase. And I'll talk about those. Those were surrounding the times of my executions. But yeah, the reasons why I was put under the Mental Health Act these last 4 times is because of false allegations, of because people committing crimes to me and then trying to turn those crimes around on me to say that I'm the one who committed them. It's standard 101 now. This is how criminals have upgraded their game, so to speak. This is their new gameplay. So they commit a crime and then they blame it on the victim. I mean, the fact that they can even get away with that by using the system as a weapon is a joke. It's almost laughable if I didn't have to go through so much trauma because of it. But um, this is what they do. This is what they do. This is what they do to people. So here I am pregnant. I'm now getting shot up with 100 mgs or milligrams of paliperidone every month because of what these motherfuckers have said about me. They said, okay, here's what they did. Last year I got pregnant with triplets. Now the father to my babies, because I believe I'm pregnant with triplets again, or at least twins. The father to my babies, who was having sex with me while we were drunk and after he would drug me. And bear in mind, I'm not going to take him to court over this. I'm not taking this to court because I just don't think I'm going to get a fair hearing in the New Zealand courts. So I'm not taking him or any of his bitches to court over this, for doing this. But here's what they did. I got pregnant last year. The father of my babies, one of his flings, his girlfriends, stabbed me while I was pregnant in the stomach, murdering one of my babies. One of his girlfriends did that. Her name was Daniela. Daniela also stabbed me while I was cooking at the stove in my house at 9B Penton Road in Stanmore Bay. Now you would think that I'd done something really, really bad to Daniela for her to want to do this to me, right? Wrong. What happened was the father of my babies, who I admit I've still got feelings for. I'm forcing myself not to, but I still have feelings for him. And he and I was sort of, while he was drugging me and having sex with me while I was drugged. And while I was drugged, I would speak more freely about my feelings for him, etc., etc. So we had a thing while I was drugged, but while I was sober, we didn't have a thing. Well, we still had a thing, but I would never act on it. So then one time I got this couple to come and stay with me, and he makes this big show of saying to the female of the couple, oh, he was going on about wanting to fuck someone's wife, fuck someone's girlfriend, in front of me. And so I guess in the back of my mind, I thought to myself, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I then said to the boyfriend a couple of nights later, I said, you know what? I said, if you, because from what I could tell, like there was already chemistry between the father of my baby and this girl Danielle. And so from what I could tell, I actually think they already had a thing before they moved into my house. And I've been using my psychic ability to look into that, and I'm seeing something really, really bad. Like this girl Daniela has also murdered one of my daughters, because she too had the affection of this guy named Dylan. So anyway, I'm still piecing the story together. It's a little hard because they were drugging me at that time. So anyway, um, this is just one of so many fucking evil stories that I've got to tell. So that was so then I thought I said to this guy a couple of nights later, you know what? If you were not in a relationship, I would totally fuck your brains out. Now that I've never said that to anyone ever before, but I did say it at that time, and I was drunk when I said it, and I was just feeling like, gosh, here's this guy, having sex with me when I'm drugged, professing love for me when I'm drugged, and then speaking like that in front of me with another woman. And there's a whole story behind it. I totally respected when he was in a relationship with someone. I totally respected that. To be honest, I didn't even know I had feelings for him until 2018. But that's because I think he's the same guy that I married when I was in my 20s. And yet he looks too young. He looks way too young to be that guy. So it's possibly his brother that I married, or somehow he's been using the baby creams made from um, babies, literally made from babies, that keep your skin looking youthful. And I think a lot of other Hollywood actors do that as well. It's really fucking wrong, and I've never done that, and I never will. Although I got tempted one time when I noticed my wrinkles and stuff, but I far out. It was only because of the hypnosis and the drugging and everything that made me even contemplate it. But I would never ever have contemplated it ever before, ever, if not for all of that. Anyway, so I haven't. But that's how I think he manages to keep himself looking youthful. Anyway, so I see that, and then this lady's boyfriend ended up having sex with me while I was asleep in my van, and I woke up and stopped him straight away. I actually called out to Dylan to come and save me. When Dylan came out and he stopped, and then an absolute horror story followed after that. Daniela, so his name was Wairua, her name was Daniela, and what they did was Daniela and Dylan then started having sex, and then Dylan tried to force me to watch him have sex with Daniela, and that was yuck and disgusting. I think he even pushed my face into her private parts. He's a really sick fuck, man. Like that is some sick shit that people do. But that's another thing they did to me while I was drugged. Daniela stabbed me while I was cooking food at the in the kitchen, and Dylan told her that she could get away with that because I keep coming back from death, as you will see in one of the videos shared to my Facebook page. I've proven so many times, proven on camera, that I can be gassed and burned alive and still come back to life. And on that note, I'll come back to the Danielle and Dylan and Wairua stories in a second. But I posted a post on Facebook today that says, I'll read it out to you. Jesus said, "Truly, truly, I say to you, whoever believes in me will also do the works that I do, and greater works than these will he do, because I go to the Father." That is from the book of John in the New Testament, chapter 14, verse 12. And there are many other verses like it. So basically what Jesus is saying is that people who believe in him will be achieving even greater things than Jesus did when Jesus was alive. Look at what Moses did, parting the sea like the way he did to let his people through it. I believe that story. I never used to until I realized that I was capable of miracles too, and then I started believing all the miracles in the Bible. It's just truly amazing. So then I went on to say, and I'll come back to that story in a second, this is amazing truth, y'all, and that's why Jesus has been my lifelong bro. I've been the recipient of many miracles. I got nicknamed the Flying Bride because my husband made me so happy that I literally started lifting off the ground. I have healed car crashes before people's very eyes, and it was caught on camera while I was being interviewed. I have proven on camera that I can be gassed and burned alive until only my bones remained and then disappear, then come back to life on camera within seconds of my death, and that happened outside New World in Orewa. And I remember the few seconds/minutes that I was dead. So folks, if you don't believe me, at least believe the video footage that was shared to my page last year. Love y'all. And I've got to get in touch with the guy who shared all those videos to my Facebook page last year. I had actually forgotten about that, my fine daddy-o friend. So I'm really, really grateful that you shared those to my page. And I'll be speaking more about that in the coming videos. But then it shows a photo of me. Gosh, I don't know what to think about what I look in that photo. I really don't. And then at the end of it, I said, Confucius say, everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. It wasn't really a particularly relevant post, but a relevant quote, but nevertheless, there it is. So then what Daniela did was her and Dylan would then drug me, and they'd go off and spend my rent money together. Can you believe this shit? They would go off and spend my rent money together. They would have sex in the room to try and hurt my feelings. In my house, Daniela was coming and having sex in my house with Dylan. She was staying the nights in my house without paying any rent. And she also, from what I recall, she also stabbed my pregnant belly. Now, this is not the first time that I've been pregnant and not known about it. And the times where I have known about it, because of my acute memory loss, I've woken up in the morning completely forgotten about it. I'm sweating. So I hope you're keeping up with the story. So then they were spending my rent money. They were drugging me, going off spending my rent money. And yeah, they were doing all kinds of really bad shit to me. Stabbed one of my babies to death while it was in me. And because of my ability to heal from death experiences, there are no scars of the stabbings. There's no scars of the fact that she stabbed me in the back, and I fell on the ground and blood went everywhere, which means she probably stabbed one of my babies while she was at it if she got through the back well enough. This is all true, guys. They're going to say it's all delusional and not true, but it is true. And then, so that happened last year. And then last year as well, Travis and Ashley and Dylan all worked together to steal my triplets. And then that's who made the complaints about me to mental health. They rang up and said, oh, Nellie's threatened to steal our children. And this was after they had already stolen my babies from my womb. Do you see how disgusting it is how people use the system as a weapon? That is the most disgusting shit. Meanwhile, they're abusing my children because they're pissed off with me. Why do my children get stolen so much? Because my children speak at birth and they can say who murdered them in their past lives. That's why Ashley and Travis stole my babies. They can also talk about who murdered me. They can also talk about things that they remember from their past lives. This is how clever my babies are. Whether or not these babies come out talking, I'm not sure, but I'm going to find out. I'll find out. Um, and Dylan and Sinine have also stolen my babies and stabbed me right through the heart together. They both held a knife together, hoping and praying that I would die finally when they stabbed a knife through my heart. So this video is basically about bringing you up to speed with the kind of evil that I've had to survive in my own home at 9B Penton Road in Stanmore Bay, in my own home. So there's some evil pricks out there. Meanwhile, my children are still struggling to feel loved and cared for and happy, and you know, it's just crazy. Anyway, I'm also the winner of the 2016 25-year Jubilee celebration at Sky City Casino, where they put up $250 million for grabs. I won that money, and I'm going to get that back before the end of this year. This year is currently 2019, and the date today is the 23rd of June, 2019. So when I get my $250 million from Sky City Casino, I'm going to set a few court cases in play. The court cases I'm going to put before the courts are the ones to get my stolen children back, my stolen babies back. And boy, do I have a tribe. Boy, do I have a tribe from all the people who have raped me, all the men who have raped me and had babies to me and then stolen those babies to hide their DNA. Boy, do I have a tribe. How many of them are still alive, I'm not so sure, but that's what breaks my heart every day, is the thought of any of my beautiful, beautiful children being harmed. It's true that I find it hard to love some of the children who are the results of the men who have raped me, because I have absolutely zero love for the guys who raped me. But some of the guys who raped me, I do have care for, or love for, or respect for, and so then it's easier to love the children to those rapes, to who are the results of being raped by those men. So, but for example, guys like Travis, who has drugged and raped me, and there's a bit of history there with Dylan, him and Ashley. There's fucking no fucking way that I could love a guy like that, because I believe Travis has also murdered me a few times. Dylan's murdered me quite a few times. Ashley, not so sure. Ashley raped me with a dildo. She was trying to look for my G-spot with a dildo. I remember Ashley doing that to me. Like, these guys are sick. I can't tell you or stress to you enough just how sick these guys are who do these evil crimes to people like me, innocent people like me, who they know won't remember it the next day because of my acute memory loss. But that's not a problem now. I remember everything now, and a lot of my memories are coming back to me. So, you know, they do these horrible things. It's horrible to even talk about them. That's how cruel they are. What else have they drugged and forced me to do? They've drugged and forced me to rape a little girl with a dildo, and they got that on video or camera or whatever. But not on her front part. In her bottom, they got me to stand in a shower and strap the dildo on and push the dildo into her bottom, and then they took a video of it. And you know what? There is no way in my life that I would ever want to do anything like that, but they forced me to do that. And I wrote about that in my affidavit, which I submitted to the Manukau District Court. Oh my God, and then there's that lawyer, Hannah, who is so fucking, she's so fucking false, man. She accepts bribes. She accepts lies in order to gain bribes. She has accepted so many lies about me, it's crazy. And she's treated me like I'm guilty of the things that Dylan, Ashley, Travis, Daniela, Claire's another one. Claire's done some really fucked up shit to me, like taking me down to the ship and anchor and telling everyone, oh, the Māori president raped a little child or whatever, and done that in front of a lot of people. And this was after I was forced to, which makes me wonder if she was part of the people that set me up to take the blame for something I wasn't guilty for. Claire and Dylan have stolen money from my Sky City Casino winnings, and I'm talking handfuls of cash, putting into a backpack. They have stolen money from my Sky City Casino winnings. I'm telling you, people have done some pretty fucked up shit to me. What else she's done? Claire's stolen one of my babies. Sineng, oh my God, Dylan and Sineng. Sineng wore my dress up to the crow's nest with my wedding ring up to the crow's nest, which had been fit for her finger because I've got quite big hands. And they had been refit for her fingers. And she proudly walked around pretending that my dress and my ring belonged to her when it didn't. And that just proves to me that Dylan, that's why I think Dylan is the guy that I married, the same guy who's impregnated me now. I think he is the guy that I married, but man, if he is, then he's largely responsible for why I was executed, him and Kelly, gorgeous looking Kelly. He's largely responsible for telling lies to the police about me just because he was angry. Now, Dylan's the kind of guy who punished me for being raped by Wairua, punished me for being raped by Wairua by getting him and his lady, beautiful, gorgeous lady, Daniela, to stab me. This is the kind of guy Dylan is. Anyway, bros, it's a fucking fucked up world we live in. But I'm still trying to do my best to just do my life as best I can. I'm going to do moral paybacks. I'm not going to murder anyone like they've murdered me countless times. I'm just going to do my paybacks in a real good but fucking firm, strong, decisioned way. And who's listening to me? I got people listening to me on my phone. I got people listening to me in this house. Everything's recorded. Everything you say in this house is recorded. This is a mental health house that I'm in at the moment. Yeah, it's a pretty out there place. It's a pretty out there place, this world, and I'm just tired, and I'm probably not speaking as well as I could because I've been drugged with 100 milligrams of paliperidone. That doesn't stop me from knowing the truth, but it does make me a bit woozy. But everything I've said in this video is true, and any parts of it that are not true, I'm going to find out. I'm going to ask the courts to put people under a mind audit to find out what it is that they actually did, to verify what I remember that they did. I remember Daniela definitely stabbed me when I was standing at the stove cooking. She just came out of the room and stabbed me. And she also... what about Kelly's form? Just because I was flying, just because I could fly, Kelly and Dylan made up lies about me to the police, and that's what got me executed. And so there's a whole story about how some of the Jews that were executed, that were put in concentration camps and executed through the Holocaust in Germany, they could also shine like I do. So they also had starlight powers. Man, the people jealous of our starlight powers. Dylan actually went so far as to steal starlight powers. And those are guys like Dylan are what you call the Antichrist. I don't hate him. Oh, fuck, I can't stand Daniela, though. I can't stand Kelly for getting me executed. I can't stand Claire for the nasty things she did to me. Oh, what about Sally, Tans, and Charlene, who were all getting one of my girls that they were keeping mostly in a car, in the boot of a car. They would get her to give them oral sex before they would go into the pokies, believing that telling my daughter that if she gave them good oral sex before they went into play the pokies, that they would win. And if they didn't win, they would hurt her. They would hurt her badly. They would hurt her if they lost their money. Can you believe that shit? They were holding one of my little girls hostage, Tans, Wilson, and Sally, and Dylan. And they were pimping her out as a little baby child prostitute. Because some guys like Dylan really get off on having sex with young girls. They pimped her out and used her and would get money for her, which they would then buy their alcohol with, etc., etc. And this is why I smoke, because I'm so upset about these things. And then they would force her to give them fellatio or oral sex with to give them good luck at the pokies. Can you believe this shit? I swear to God. I swear to fucking God, those dirty fucking pussies that my daughter had to fucking suck and lick and fucking finger. Sorry about the content of this video, guys, but I'm creating awareness of a type of terrorism in our country that is affecting young and old, that everyone is vulnerable to when you share food and drink, because that's often how they drug you. When you share food and drink, or even alcohol, that's another big way that you get drugged. That's what happens. That's what happens. It's a horror world out there for children and women and some men. I hate even talking about it. It's horrible. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'm going to upload this video. Who else has done evil shit to me? Of course, my fake family, the Mortons, have. I've already written an affidavit about that. It's unspeakable shit what they've done to me. All because I'm not their real sister. I'm not their real sister. I don't know who stole me as a baby, but I know they would have stole me because I was starlighting or shining. Same reason my children got stolen, because they were shining like a starlight. And somehow, some way, apparently Jesus reckons I should forgive these motherfuckers for stealing my babies. I'm going to have to talk to Jesus about that, because I don't think they deserve fucking forgiveness.